Oh yeah, you said. Lydia's preparing for her patrol.
Yeah, we're going to Knitfest.
Yay! Hi, I'm Marlene from Marlene Knits, and I'm interviewing myself basically because, you know. So I'm wearing the Mabel Meadow cardigan by Famke of maybe the label. I tested this for her, and I used the Vovo by Retrosario Rosa Pomar, which is a Portuguese brand that I just love. And my knitting superpower is that I can name, I would say, all of the Knitting for Olive colorways. If you show me a picture of or a skein of yarn, I can tell you if it's robin or pomegranate, you know. And I think I've known like 80% of the patterns I saw walking past me today. So I have Ravelry in my brain, I would say. Trying on Inga's, what's it called, Amy slipover again? And what's the verdict? I am an autumn. Inga is saving all the yarn because she can't. Yeah, they need saving. They need a whole. Isn't it Céline and Gabby?
We've been having the best time. Yeah, I'm talking about cashmere. Buying a lot of cashmere.
We're ruined forever. How are we supposed to knit with other yarn?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. And listen, that's okay. That's the guilty pleasure. So.
Hey folks, thanks so much for watching this vlog, and if you want to know more about the ins and outs of this knitty weekend, you can stay a bit longer. I'll also share my acquisitions and yeah, a couple more information. So I did drive to Knitfest to Zurich with my best friend via train. It took it should have taken us 6 hours. It took us 7 hours in the end. There was a bit of a delay, but it wasn't too bad. We had some seat reservation and it was actually relatively inexpensive because we had booked the tickets in advance, like a couple of months in advance. We did arrive in Zurich in the early afternoon and went straight to a restaurant where we met all of the other podcasters and panelists and a couple more people from the group who were also participating in live streams and Pearl Patrol and all of these things for Knitfest to get to know each other a bit more. Inga of Knitting Traditions had initiated it, and Rebecca then booked us a table at a trattoria. I have no idea if I'm saying this right, but it sounds better than saying trattoria. I think there must be some sort of... So she booked us a table at a restaurant where she knew the owners and knew that the food was really nice, which indeed it was. And yeah, that was so lovely to have a chance to kind of chat with people who I've not met in person before, chat a bit more with people I've already met in the past. And yeah, so I really enjoyed that night. And so after that, we went to the hotel and had an early night because we were really sleepy and tired. And we got a little like free drink at the bar with some of the other panelists and guests as well. And yeah, then we went to bed. And I do have a little bit of a kind of bowl with some things to do a bit of a show and tell. I thought that would be nice. We had a little bit of a gift bag that had a couple of stitch marker. There was actually a pin with a little sheep in there, which I put on my project bag that Emily and Rebecca gifted me, I think 1.5 years ago for my birthday. After we visited Swiss Yarn together, they bought it for me there, and now that is my project bag where I put all my pins. And so they had kind of done a collaboration with Craft Tiara, and it was a little sheep, and it says Knitfest 2025. I'll include a picture so you can see. But yeah, there's another stitch marker in here, which is a yarn ball in collaboration with Craft Tiara, a notepad, which is always handy, some Swiss chocolate. I also got some chocolate from a lovely viewer, but I've already eaten that. I shared it with my partner. We really enjoyed that. It was a keggy one. I got another sticker, which I already have one of those, and that sits on my water bottle, so I'll keep this for my journal scrapbooking. And then Knitfest also gifted us a really, really nice lanolin wool wash soap that is, I think, scent free, which I think is nice if you're washing baby knits, gifts for people where you're not sure if they like eucalyptus or if they like really heavily scented things. So I have a few different soaps in my cabinet right now, so I might have to find a solution for storing them, especially the hard ones. I let them dry and then I put them back in my cabinet, and this is the Knitfest edition 2025, and I think that's so lovely. It's by Sapun Natural and Knitfest, and I thought that was such a lovely and generous gift. Really nice. They'd also gifted us a little card that welcomed us to Zurich, and Emily and Rebecca were generally so welcoming and generous with their guests. So the wristband that we got, which was a turquoise wristband, gave us access to the Knitfesty lounge, which then had food and drinks all throughout the weekend. I thought that was one of the best things that they did for creators. I thought there was plenty of space for the general public, everyone who came to the event to sit, which was one of the favorite things for me about the event. There was so much space that you could just be in without having to shop and spend money if you didn't want to do that, or if you were done doing that. But then for people who had a schedule and were working at the event, I thought having a lounge where you can just grab a water, just be hydrated all throughout the day. I didn't get a headache once because I was hydrated well enough. I was able to get myself a coffee. I had lunch, I had plenty to eat. They had the innocent smoothies there because they collaborated with them. And so I just thought that was really, really thoughtful and generous of them to think of all those little things. They also gave us a lanyard. I put my little sticker on here because I thought it was nice to, personalize it. So it says Marlene and Marlene Knits, obviously Knitfest 2025. And then it had my schedule on the back. So on Saturday I was working the Purple Patrol in the marketplace. I did a panel discussion on the stage, and on Sunday, I had my live stream in the live stream cube. So this was really handy. Initially we had also planned a course together, a Ravelry Unraveled is what I called it, which not enough people booked that. So we had to cancel the course a couple of weeks in advance, which I was a bit sad about because I had been looking forward to teaching that course. But then also having these things to do, and then also vlogging, meeting new people, meeting some of you guys, just walking around shopping for myself and then taking some breaks, I think it was enough. So I was quite happy with my schedule. It gave me enough space to kind of walk around and experience the location and the whole venue. I will be thinking about doing more of like a YouTube video series about my favorite things about Ravelry. So if you would like that, if you're interested in that, let me know in the comment section down below. I've been thinking about it for a while, and because, yeah, Knitfest had the, I would say, extra challenge of having lots of international and like different languages in the mix. I mean, Switzerland in and of itself is a country with many different languages. People there speak Schweizerdeutsch, Deutsch, Italian, French, another language I can't think of now. But yeah, so many different languages all came together. People, vendors, guests were arriving. People were speaking English, German, Italian, like all of these different languages, which I thought was wonderful. But I had offered to hold this course in English, and maybe more people would have been interested in if I were holding it in German. At least one person gave me that feedback, so I'm not sure if that's the case. But then again, I thought maybe some people were more interested in doing something practical in those courses, in those workshops. I know that Cynthia Valet and the woman behind the embroidery on knits, who's Judith Gumlich, Julia Wilkins, there were some amazing knitting and then crochet designers and speakers and authors. Also Sandra from, now I don't remember the name, but it was lovely to get to know her. I'll insert her Instagram handle. She's an amazing crochet designer, as well as Moa, although I don't know if she did courses. She did a huge and like really impressive stage, like speech. I don't think it was a speech, it was a talk, which all of those talks were free to attend and just listen to, and they had like millions. It's completely, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they had hundreds and hundreds of seats with tables, so they weren't just like in a like theater. The rows weren't just like this, but more so like this. So you could be speaking with the person next to you or opposite you, and you were able to knit and eat and drink and then also listen to the talk, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, moving back to my point of why I think my course didn't make it in the end, I think, yeah, some people maybe wanted to book a course with someone that they already knew prior. I have never done any courses before, so I'm not known for that. People maybe wanted to hear me talk about the experience of being a podcaster or just meet in person and say hi, but not as much hear me talk and teach about my experience with Ravelry. So that's fine, but yeah, I'm still thinking about maybe doing a bit of not a course because it'll be free, but yeah, like a YouTube video series about my favorite options on Ravelry. I know there are some out there, so if you're generally interested, other people have made videos about Ravelry, but I think there might be some value in me sharing my favorite things about it. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. A couple more things, and I already realized that I might have some other things, not taking them with me to this spot, so I'll insert some pictures because they had a photo booth. I was able to take one with myself just because I thought it'd be nice for the scrapbooking and for the memories, and then I took one with Inga, and so yeah, I'll include that as like a little picture because I'll have to get it. I think I'm using it as a bookmark right now, and yeah, but this is the one I took with myself of myself. Just thought it was a nice memory. And then I took the second day Knitfest dinner menu just because I thought it was really sweet. It was in Mama Shelter, which was really cute, close to the venue and the hotel that we're staying in, and it was really nice. Dinner was nice. And then I also have the Freyr sweater by Inga of Knitted Traditions. She gifted me this pattern. Her cousin helped her to get all of these kind of bound, and she gave them to some people at the venue. So I was really happy to receive that. as I said, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. Went straight back to work after working the weekend at Knitfest, and then I caught a little cold. I've been traveling quite a bit recently, and then whenever I'm back home, I'm straight back to work. I'm straight back to work, and so I think my body was just a bit, maybe had experienced too many different people's bacteria and possible viruses in being in a train and whatever. I felt really good. My immune system worked overtime this month, and I'm so proud of my body for coping, but I did have a bit of a head cold and didn't feel super well at the middle or end of this week. So I'm glad to be a bit better right now. And if you do have any questions, I will 100% forget to mention stuff. I have already watched Sarah's of It's a Sarah's podcast, or rather a vlog on the weekend, and then also Céline's of Woozy by Céline's podcast, two new to me podcasters / just general knitting people that I got to meet this weekend, people I had not known of or known in person prior to Knitfest, but that was one of the really lovely things of learning about other podcasts I didn't know, learning about new people that I hadn't met before. And so my watch list is fuller because of it, my subscription box is fuller because of it, and my heart was really full because of it. And I'll talk you through my acquisitions, which is arguably a fun part of the experience. I'll just hope there will be a Knitfest next year. I think it might be happening. I'm hoping. Again, as I said, I might be a bit biased about the experience because I do love Rebecca and Emily as friends. I gotten to meet them through the internet knitting community about, I think now it's been 2 years ago, ever since Rebecca approached me and invited me to come to Zürich to see her and Emily at Swiss Yarn Festival. And I would say they did an amazing job. And that's not because they're friends of mine. That's because I think I felt like vendors as well as creators as well as visitors all seemed really happy throughout the experience. I didn't see people or a lot of people being super stressed. Obviously, it can be an anxious experience of being in a room or a big, huge room full of people all day. And as I probably mentioned before, I am very, very sensitive to loud noises. So the evening events were a bit difficult for me to cope with at some point. So I just put in my noise cancelling headphones to kind of calm the storm a bit. But that's just because I'm really, really sensitive to loud noises. And I was also really tired at the end of the day. So that's just one thing to mention. And that wasn't something that you had to attend. It was just that we were invited. And so I really definitely had to or wanted to go. In the future, I would maybe just do a bit of a more private and smaller gathering on Fridays, maybe just with a smaller group of people, just so my overwhelm doesn't get too much. But this year it was just really lovely to get to meet other people in advance. So I wouldn't change a thing. So I link as many people as I can that I met this weekend or I've seen again this weekend. I'll share my acquisitions, and then let's just, if there's anything that you want to know, if you're curious, if you've got any questions, just share them in the comment section down below. As I said, I might be forgetting stuff. I probably will be forgetting to mention stuff, but I thought it'd be short and sweet. It's, I need to battle my perfectionism because otherwise I wouldn't upload the video at all. If I'm just trying to make it, if I'm waiting for it to be perfect, it'll never come live. So let's try and work with what we got and share some of the acquisitions that I have. Okay, so my first acquisition at the weekend was when I was walking around the venue. We as guests or content creators or designers had an early entry before the public to film a bit in the venue if we wanted to get a lay of the land, to like set up for ourselves. If people were starting the live stream, for example, at 10 o'clock, it was just nicer to be able to arrive there like a half an hour early and then get set up and all of that. And so I was walking around the venue and I saw Sierra and I was like, what is Sierra doing here? And I saw her booth, I saw her logo, and I'm like, I totally forgot you mentioned in your stories that you were going to be here. I don't even know if we talked about it before, but we had met previously at, so if I'm not mistaken, we met at Flock Fiber Festival 3 years ago. We met at Rhinebeck, like India Untangled, 2 years ago. And then maybe also in Barcelona, I'm not sure, maybe that one isn't true. But we had definitely met twice before and kept in contact over Instagram. And I just love her work and had never been able to buy yarn or fiber from her before. So this time around I couldn't not. And so I did. I went in and got 2 braids of beautiful BFL fiber. These. So this one is Gloaming and this one is Afterglow, and I will most likely spin them together. I also talked to these ladies with a color consultation. So looking at this now, this might both be a bit too cold toned for me, cool toned for me, because they definitely mentioned that I'm warm tones. I'm either spring or autumn, but the longer consultation would take longer. So they were kind of just like, how do you say that? Like sampling, giving out like an idea of what it would be like to get your season analyzed, and I'll link them below. So if you're in Zurich, you can check them out. The 5-minute consultation was free. So that's one of the things I also did and I want to mention. But yeah, it doesn't really matter to me if this is not perfectly my colors. Spinning fiber, and especially spinning pink or like purple, which are 2 colors I don't usually tend to wear. I don't know why, but I just love it. I love spinning these colors. And so I thought, because I wanted to spin in it the Jaunty by Andrea ever since it launched, this might be a nice combination. Though I also have some fiber from my Rhinebeck trip, so I might just have to see which one gets spun up first. And so this was the only thing that I got on day 1. And I really had to think about it because, as you may know, I had the opportunity to shop in some really special places this year. Again, going to Rhinebeck, working at a yarn store is always, a hazard. And so I really wanted to think about what and if I was buying more. I did want to obviously support a festival. I wanted to support the vendors there, but I really wanted to make sure to get something that I couldn't really get elsewhere. And so day 2 came around and we did have a bit more time to do some shopping. And I have already cast on something with the yarn that I'm going to show you, but I will have to rip back and recast on. But yeah, I had spent lots of time with Inga. I think we're both really happy to have gotten to meet in person because we've been chatting online for a while. And so she all roped us into the Lovi Markt, and told us about these cashmere cones. So I think at the end of the day, lots of people from our kind of like group bought cashmere with this booth at the end of the day. But yeah, she made a good point about this being like leftover from the fashion industry in Italy, and that these colors might either be like out of season or leftover, so they weren't used anymore. And so they were selling these cones for relatively affordable prices if you're thinking cashmere. So this was 87 euros, but it is also a sweater quantity of cashmere yarn. So I thought that wasn't too bad. I had a really tough time deciding on the color though, so I will insert a video, or it might have already been included in the vlog, of me trying to kind of like figure out which color would be best for really classic sweaters. So I wanted a really like timeless classic piece of like a sweater I could kind of forever wear if my body wouldn't change too much. Probably put in a bit of positive E, so it might kind of, yeah, fit me for a long time either way. And I did eventually decide on this oatmeal color. The lady at the color season booth and I weren't sure if this is too cool tone for me or if it's not, but looking at it, I do think it has a bit of a warm tinge, which a sweater quantity I have in stash for a particular project that I really wanted to knit for years now doesn't have. So I bought some ampersand fibers at the La Mercerie shop on Bainbridge Island after seeing Emily of Gently Chaotic Knits' dad's sweater in person. I also was able to try Chelsea's version on, and so I decided at that point in time 3 years ago that I really wanted to knit it. But I was really inspired by the two of them, but now I know that they both have a more cool leaning tones. Like they are, I think, more so summer/winter types. And obviously this is not a science, like this is just a bit of fun, but especially for Emily, I know, because she has pale skin, dark eyes, dark hair, she has a lot of contrast. She can do those cool leaning grays and those primer colors that she also loves. I'm getting off track, but you know, gray looks perfect on her. If I just watched the video of her last night about her spinning her traveler sweater, which I would highly recommend. That's a fantastic video. For me personally, I got inspired by that. I bought that sweater quantity and I've never picked it up to cast it on, which to me is a sign that this might not be my kind of basic color. And so coming back to this purchase, I thought that maybe having it a bit more warm toned or neutral toned and cashmere, I could make a dad sweater with this. I will have to swatch and I will have to see when it'll fit into my all my plans. I have castanitis at the moment. I can't wait to do another project update with y'all sometime soon, like a podcast in the next couple of weeks, because I've cast on quite a few things. I have made some immense progress on my things. And so yeah, I hope you would agree. Even though it might be a bit pale and I will have to break it up with like an accessory here, which is why I bought this. This might be nicer having this as like a really classic shape sweater and then breaking it up with maybe a little shawl. So I got this, as I said, 390 grams of a sport weight cashmere, which will be enough for a sweater for me. And then I also got this cone, which was 150 grams for 34 euros. And I have, like I said, already cast on a little test knit that I'm doing, but this color is beautiful. It's like a goldeny mid brown tone, and I'm currently testing my best friend Lydia's tikva scarf. There were some changes, so it's like a waffle style, waffle texture that she had already used for a sock design, like the tikva socks and a summer top last year. So now she's finally getting this design tested and I'm one of her testers. And yeah, so this was really nice. At the time it was a bit difficult for me to decide which ones I was gonna get. And so I just decided on going with the classic oatmeal color for a sweater and with the light mid brown for a big, like a medium size but relatively long scarf, which will be beautiful, I think. I was also not able to leave this yarn behind, and like I said, I just watched Céline's video and she also got it, which at the time I don't know if I knew this, but it's really funny because first I think Lydia got this on the first day and she showed it to me and I was like, ooh, that looks nice. It was a nice price as well. And then Inga had also gotten it and they were both telling me about it. And as I mentioned, on the Sunday, we're all taking a bit more time to like stroll around together and shop. And I also got 2 of these. They're the daughter, and it's 100% cashmere. Again, like, what's happening? Like, now that I've turned 30, like, is this my cashmere era? I think it might. Yeah, it might be. And this has at least 51% of recycled cashmere. And these 2 together were the price of one single Cardiff cashmere, or less than the price of a higher price sustainable cashmere, 50%. Oh, 25 gram. Also made in Italy, same thing. This was from Save the Yarn. This was saved because it was, left over from the fashion industry, which I now feel like Inga in her podcast, because she mentioned these like cones and like recycled yarns all the time. And just thought it was really special that quite a few of us who also spent some time and gotten to know each other better, which I love, got this. And so they had a sample of a penny glove there at the booth, which was just gorgeous. So I could see myself making myself some penny gloves with this, or making someone else penny gloves, and I might just ruin my partner with this because he's used to finial heads, but he might get another one for maybe next year. His birthday is coming up now, and then it's Christmas, but he's already getting a birthday hat. I've just packed all his presents, and there's already so much. I don't think he'll need this year, and I have other things to knit on. But at some point, I could see myself making him another fisherman's hat, a bijou beanie, my favorite pattern for him. So not expensive at all. Think about 18 Schweizer Franken, so not bad for cashmere. These 2, by the way, because I mentioned this for the Rhinebeck vlog, and I got some quite positive feedback about it. And I told myself I wanted to continue maybe mentioning prices a bit more. I might not always be 100% correct, but I'm like estimating. I think both of these were 23 euros, so 46 euros for, I think, 8 ounces. Yeah, not too bad. I think that was really good price for amazing hand-dyed fiber. On the Sunday, we also went back, and at that point, Inga and I and the both of us, our haul will be in her next upcoming vlog / podcast, so have a look out for that. But I thought I still mention my stuff because otherwise the vlog would have been really short, and I felt like I wanted to chat a bit more about the whole event to you, because I still feel so like full and like energized from the weekend. Inga and I went into Ballyhora Fibers again, and she told me that she had seen this fiber. Like, it was the first thing that she saw when she came into the venue, I think even on Friday night or Saturday early in the morning. So I had just that weekend given my friend Rebecca as like a belated birthday gift a hand-spun skein of BFL that I had spun up for her, or I had just spun up, and then I looked at it and like I thought of her. And I mentioned before that I wanted to spin a bit more yarn for people that I love and that like I hold dear in my heart, friends and family. And I thought spinning yarn for people is just, it's just really special being able to do that, and I want to do it more. So I offered to Inga if she would get this. This is the long room. I would spin it for her. And since we've been joking about me visiting her next year, anyways, joking, not joking, she mentioned that if I was coming there to meet her and visit her, I could bring it, like the finished skein, with me. And if that wasn't happening for some reason or another, I could keep it. And I'm planning on spinning and gifting this to her, but I'm currently hyper focusing on another gift, more of like a trade slash, a craft trade or a craft swap with Laura of Tiny Minutes. And I'm currently spinning sweater quantity for that. So I'm solely focusing on that. But after that, I will be spinning this for Inga. And we had chatted, like she had mentioned that I could visit her whenever I wanted to, which was just so kind of her to say that. And I had mentioned that I always wanted to see that Rauma mill and the Hillesvag mill. And yeah, just the part of the world where she lives in is just immensely beautiful. So I really do hope that we'll be able to follow through with our plans. She was there with her cousin Suniva, and that was just lovely meeting the both of them. Like I said, Inga is just like, I feel really connected to her, maybe because we do have such similar taste in colors and maybe also in style. Like we're both autumnal girlies, and it was just really lovely spending some more quality time with her that weekend. So that was one of my favorite things about Knitfest. As I already mentioned in some of the things, I will mention some of the footage that we as content creators took will be up on the Knitfest Instagram and all of that later on. I thought that they had or they would save the live stream, but I don't think they did. So you'll just have to come to Knitfest next year yourself, I guess. Yeah, it was just, like I said, it was just so lovely. The content will come up whenever they have kind of taken a breather after the whole festival. Is obviously really stressful for them, but they did such a great job. I'm so proud of them. I brought both of them a little gift basket and like a card saying how proud of them I was, and a little skein of Mayak, the Fiordalino, because I made myself a little Sophie scarf with it, and we had a blue and a pink in the store, so I bought each one of them a skein, and maybe we can do matching scarf knit in the future. We did some like sock, sprinkly Hermione's Everyday sock knit along, the three of us, like over the summer or last year, I think. And so yeah, I've already made a new, like set up a new date to meet them again in March. So apart from just hopefully being a part of Knitfest 2025 and 2026 again next year, I'm just really happy to have met them through this online community. And yeah, my partner often says that I kind of use the internet for its best sides, which I think making community and those parasocial relationships with people and then bringing online friends into your offline life can be one of the most beautiful things the internet has to offer. And since it does have quite a few negative things to offer as well, I think we should focus on that a bit more. And so I do hope, yeah, you're all taking care of yourselves and the people around you. I'll close off the video by saying that I just hope you enjoyed seeing my experience of being in Zurich. I didn't get out of the venue too much this weekend since, like I said, I'd already been there a couple of times and I knew that I was going back in the spring. And then, yeah, if you're going, please don't miss out on the Uetliberg. It's just a really, really nice walk and experience to look over the city. And then also the, yeah, just walking around Old Town, seeing the water, seeing the architecture, having, yeah, a nice dinner is always nice. And I hope to see you there next year. I hope that it's all going to work out and we're all going to be there. And yeah, it's just nice to have something like this in the middle of Europe. And it just proves that you don't always have to go all the way to the US to have a really great and modern and bubbly and lively yarn festival. So yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm happy to answer them, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you again with a podcast episode in about a week and a half, maybe 2 at tops. Hope to be posting around the 1st of December, and then I'll see you at Vlogmas again. I'll be doing 3 to 4 videos again in December, doing kind of a weekly Vlogmas kind of thing with project updates, advent calendars, just some creative like DIY projects, baking and all of that. And yeah, I hope you take care of yourselves and the people around you, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.